city in the UK, Leicester, is to be put back into lockdown. We have a report live now from Love Anne Season. Love Anne.
Hi, Giancarlo. So Britain on Monday reimposed lockdown measures on a city hit by an outbreak of coronavirus in the first big test of Prime Minister Boris Johnson's whack-a-mole strategy to control the disease while getting the economy moving again. Britain has suffered the deadliest outbreak of the virus in Europe with almost 44,000 deaths. But Johnson last month began easing nationwide stay-at-home orders imposed in late March. Amid warnings he was moving too fast with infection and death rates falling but slowly, he vowed to clamp down on local outbreaks. The measures in Leicester, with a population of 340,000, is the first move to restore lockdown on such a large scale. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said it accounted for 10% of all positive cases in the country over the past week, and the number of positive coronavirus cases in Leicester were 3 times higher than the next highest city. According to Leicester City Council, there were 944 confirmed cases of the virus in the city in the last 2 weeks. Now, Mr. Hancock has urged the public in Leicester to stay at home as much as possible, but many people were out in the streets regardless, some with their faces covered, others not. So the city's elected mayor, Peter Soulsby, said he was very concerned about the impact of the new restrictions on the city's economy and also its people, but says the city's local lockdown has some realistic prospect of being effective. Soulsby called for further government support for the city, as well as more precise information about where the virus had hit the hardest. Hospitals and some food processing factories have already been closed after clusters of cases. Giancarlo?
Thank you, Love Anne. How is the lockdown now being tightened in the city of Leicester?
Well, all non-essential shops closed from last Tuesday, and schools closed from Thursday and will not reopen until next term, but they will stay open for vulnerable children and children of critical workers. Now, people should avoid all but essential travel to, from, and within Leicester and should stay at home as much as you can. The planned relaxing of some restrictions in England on Saturday will not go ahead in Leicester. This means restaurants, cafes, hairdressers, and cinemas will stay closed, and those who are vulnerable and shielding won't be allowed new freedoms. But the government will review this, whether it can be lifted, any measures can be lifted in 2 weeks' time, the health secretary has said. Over to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you, Love Anne. So while the rest of the country now is easing down its lockdown restrictions, Leicester is going the opposite direction. Is there any information about the potential cause of this outbreak in Leicester City?
Yeah, there's been a lot of interest on this topic. So a report of Public Health England found there is no obvious source for a spike in coronavirus cases in Leicester, BBC stated. A preliminary investigation said it could be partly due to mobile testing available in Leicester and encouraging people to come forward for testing, according to Leicestershire Live. Now, some suggest that there could be issues in the city providing advice and getting people to understand what they need to do. The government has said the city and counties councils will be given funding to invest in communications in different languages. Now, BBC also reported that density of population is bound to be a factor, but other issues are at play too. So there seems to be transmission within households and workplace, and people not following the 2-meter rule, which may all be contributing to the present condition. Now, so in short, there is nothing really special to Leicester that could be pointed to a single standout cause as restrictions have eased. But it is definitely on another level compared to other local spikes that have happened so far. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much for that report, Love Anne.
Thank you. And reporting from the United Kingdom, I'm Love Anne Season, and we live in interesting times.